Number 25. Marie Van Brittain Brown, the home security. Do you have a home security system? Well, don't just think about ADT or Ring. Clap it up for Miss Marie Van Brittain Brown. The 1960s were full of chaos, especially in New York City. Revolutionary acts ran side by side with poverty, which led to crime. All the while, Queens, New York, a nurse with an inventor's soul, dared to rewrite the narrative. Witnessing the vulnerability of her own home, Marie envisioned a guardian, a system to see who approached, even from afar. Inspired by military tech and assisted by her husband Albert, who was an electrician, she crafted the foundation of modern security. Miss Brown, along with her husband, created a closed-circuit monitoring system that connected cameras to her TV. Her revolutionary invention is the basis for every doorbell camera and every smartphone alert. Brown's legacy isn't just security, it's the courage to build a fortress of technology, a safer world, brick by digital brick. So, when you step into your haven, remember Marie Van Brittain Brown, the woman who dared to dream of security and built it, bite by bite. Number 24. Garrett Morgan, the traffic signal. Our journey begins with a pivotal invention that transformed the way we navigate our roads, the traffic signal. In the early 1900s, chaotic city streets were battlegrounds for cars and carriages. Witnessing a harrowing accident sparked inventor Garrett Morgan's vision for order. The three-position traffic signal. This iconic invention tamed the urban jungle, saving lives and paving the way for modern traffic systems. Garrett Morgan is one of the most prolific inventors of our time, as he was inducted into the National Inventors Hall of Fame in 2005. His legacy lives on in every orderly stop and synchronized flow of traffic, forever shaping our urban landscape. Number 23. Dr. Charles Drew, the blood bank. This invention was groundbreaking and literally life-saving for thousands of people back then and even today. Back then in the 1900s, blood transfusions were a gamble, a desperate hope fueled by limited understanding. Lives hung in the balance, casualties mounting from accidents and surgeries alike. Dr. Charles Drew was a pioneering surgeon with a mission to unlock the life-saving potential of blood itself. Armed with medical prowess, he researched blood types, pioneering plasma separation techniques that extended precious donations. Inspired by emerging knowledge of refrigeration, he envisioned a revolutionary system, a mobile blood bank, ready to respond to emergencies and disasters. Drew's vision wasn't just about saving lives, it was about democratizing healthcare. He challenged racial barriers, training thousands of black nurses and medics to become vital links in the blood donation chain. The impact was transformative. Soldiers wounded on battlefields and civilians recovering from accidents all found a second chance thanks to Drew's innovations. Today, blood banks are pillars of medical infrastructure, saving countless lives every year. But behind the sterile vials and orderly systems lies the determination of Dr. Charles Drew, the man who dared to dream of a world where blood wouldn't just flow through veins, but flow freely through a system designed to heal and empower. Number 22. Alexander Miles, automatic elevator doors. Now, let's step back to a time when skyscrapers were new wonders, yet stepping into their steel bellies felt like an act of faith. We're talking about the late 19th century, the era of rickety elevator cages and gaping shaft doors, a precarious dance with gravity before every floor reached. Born in 1838, Miles was a man of two worlds, a skilled tinkerer who understood the language of machines and a pioneer for racial equality who challenged the barriers of his time. In 1887, he unlocked a secret that would change the game: automatic elevator doors. Miles' invention unlocked a vertical renaissance. Buildings could now reach for the sky, confident in the knowledge that safe, efficient ascent was assured. His ingenuity reshaped skylines, birthing metropolises we take for granted today. So, the next time you are soaring between floors, remember Alexander Miles. He's the silent hero of every urban skyline, a testament to the power of one mind to change the world. Shining bright at number 21, Latimer, the carbon filament light bulb. In the late 19th century, the promise of electric light was dimmed by one major flaw: short-lived bulbs that plunged homes back into darkness with agonizing regularity. Latimer was a self-taught draftsman and innovator who held the key to extending the life of his revolutionary invention. He was a visionary who saw the potential of electric light's ability to not only illuminate rooms, but the world. The filament, those wires found at the center of a light bulb, was created by Thomas Edison, but Latimer is the reason for its sustainability and protection. Through meticulous experimentation, Mr. Latimer perfected a method of encasing the filament. His method became the foundation for future filament designs, ultimately making electric lighting a reliable and affordable reality. Today, we enjoy the instant illumination of LEDs and fluorescents, but the light that shines in every corner holds a flicker of Lewis Latimer's ingenuity. Number 20. Richard Spike's automatic gear shift. Today, almost everyone drives a car that has an automatic transmission, but that wasn't always the case. In the early 1900s, driving was a gear-grinding, skill-testing dance. Richard Spikes was a visionary inventor who dreamt of effortless shifting. In 1932, he tinkered with the heart of the beast, the transmission, paving the way for automatic gears. His invention wasn't just about convenience, it unlocked freedom. Women, beginners, everyone could now cruise the open road. Spike's genius revolutionized the auto industry, birthing smoother, faster, and more fuel-efficient vehicles. Today, over 90% of cars hum with his legacy, a story about how the gears of one mind shifted the whole world. Number 19. John Purdy, the folding chair. Now, let's take a seat, quite literally, as we unfold the fascinating story behind the invention of the folding chair. From picnic blankets to classrooms, folding chairs are taken for granted today, but in 1889, Mr. Purdy revolutionized cookouts forever. Mr. Purdy reimagined the chair by designing a sturdy frame, clever hinges, and a canvas seat that folded into portability. His chairs weren't just convenient, but also comfortable, changing how we plan events forever. So the next time you're pulling chairs out of your closet, or able to easily slide them from your trunk, give a silent thank you to John Purdy. This next inventor is the reason we can have Taco Tuesdays across the country. Number 18. Frederick McKinley Jones, the refrigerated truck. We are lucky enough to get the produce from miles away today in our supermarkets, but all the credit for this goes to Frederick McKinley Jones. Imagine supermarket shelves bare, food wilting before your eyes. This was life before Frederick McKinley Jones, a self-taught inventor who challenged the tyranny of temperature. In the 1930s, he transformed hot carrier trucks into cool rolling oases, using clever mechanics to trap the cold. It revolutionized food transport, keeping produce fresh, delivering life-saving medicines, and transforming a world threatened by decay into one overflowing with icy bounty. Today, over 4 million refrigerated trucks hold his legacy, a testament to the power of innovation that blooms even in the most unexpected places. At number 17, Osborne Dorsy, the doorknob lock. Every day, as we leave our house, we make sure we lock our door, even sometimes giving that doorknob a reassuring wiggle. That secure process of lock, key, and turn was created by Osborne Dorsy. Mr. Dorsy was a black inventor in the late 19th century who saw the need for a simpler, safer way to secure his home. The amazing part is that he was struck with this epiphany when he was just 16 years old. At the time, doors mostly had handles and used latches and leather straps to secure entry. Locks were considered a luxury and were not considered essential for doors. Doorknobs did exist, but were at the time considered nothing more than door jewelry. Osborne Dorsy was the first inventor to combine the sleek design of a doorknob with the security of a lock and key. With his innovation, families could add protection to their home while they were out in the world. The impact of Dorsy's innovation rippled outwards. His design, with its emphasis on accessibility and control, laid the foundation for modern door lock mechanisms, from the simple knob to the sophisticated electronic systems we rely on today. Go lock your doors and smash that subscribe button too. Sitting satisfyingly at number 16, George Crumb, potato chips. Who doesn't love Pringles or Lay's? There's nothing like your favorite potato chips, but have you ever thought how they made it from potato to chip? It all started in the 1800s when Chef George Crumb accidentally made the first ever batch of potato chips. In the 1850s, Saratoga Springs wasn't just a resort town, it was a culinary battleground. Chefs vied for attention, crafting intricate dishes for discerning palates. Among them was George Crumb, a man as fiery as his cooking. One day, a picky customer returned his thick-cut fries, demanding something crispier. To satisfy the customer, Crumb sliced paper-thin potatoes, fried them to a golden crunch, and sent them back. The customer loved them. Thus, Crumb's Saratoga chips became a sensation. Many customers began to request Saratoga-style potatoes, paper-thin and fried to a crunch. Soon after, many other chefs began to copy the Crumb's recipe. Early potato chips were a local treasure, made in local kitchens and sold by street vendors. It wasn't until 1895 that William Tappenden, the man who was widely credited with creating the potato chip, came along and began to mass-produce the new snack. From a Saratoga Springs delicacy to a global favorite, the potato chip's evolution mirrored the changing world. They fueled soldiers in wartime, entertained families during movie nights, and became a symbol of American snacking. So, the next time you reach for a bag of chips, remember George Crumb, the chef who went to please a customer and ended up satisfying the world. Our next inventor shot for the moon, but ended up in your backyard. Number 15. Lonnie Johnson, Super Soaker. What do you think of when you hear NASA? Astronauts? Rocket ships? The moon landing? How about a Super Soaker 2000? NASA engineer Lonnie Johnson accidentally discovered the heart of one of the best-selling toy lines of all time. Mr. Johnson was researching and developing a new heat pump for NASA in 1989. He took his experiment home, and while working on the new system, his creation sprang a leak. A great burst of water shot across the room. Jokingly, he said to himself, that would make a great squirt gun. He continued to work on this accidental discovery. Mr. Johnson worked on the concept and made a prototype from plexiglass, PVC pipe, and a 2-liter soda bottle. His first ever water blaster could shoot a stream of compressed water 40 feet. Lonnie Johnson continued to fine-tune his concept as he struggled to find a toy company that recognized the potential of his invention. Until 1990, a deal was made with Laramie Corporation, and the Power Drencher hit shelves. The toy opened to lackluster reception, but then sometime later, after a rebrand and new marketing campaign, the Power Drencher was renamed the Super Soaker, and in 1992, just a few years after an accident gone right, the Super Soaker had $200 million in sales, and summers have never been the same. At number 14, Dr. Thomas Mensa, the fiber optic cable. Before fiber optic cables, the internet was a sluggish beast, data crawling through copper wires like molasses. In the 1980s, the world craved speed, a way to send information at the very pulse of light. Enter Dr. Thomas Mensa, a Ghanaian-American chemical engineer who was able to harness the power of glass and light to revolutionize communication. Mensa wasn't just a brainiac in a lab. He was a visionary who saw the limitations of the existing copper technology. He delved into the world of glass fibers, crafting strands thinner than a human hair capable of transmitting data at mind-boggling speeds. With Mensa's invention, instantaneous video calls, lightning-fast downloads, and global connectivity all became realities. Today, over 90% of the world's internet traffic races through the silent symphony of fiber optic cables. Every tweet, every uploaded photo, and every video call owes itself to Dr. Thomas Mensa. 13. Sarah Boon, the ironing board. Could you imagine a life without freshly ironed shirts, or just having to leave the house with your pants looking like a crumpled piece of paper? Well, that was the case once upon a time. In the late 19th century, ironing was a cumbersome battle with bulky boards and uneven heat, until dressmaker Sarah Boon transformed an everyday chore into a smoother affair. As a designer, Boon knew the frustrations of ironing firsthand. The contraptions used for ironing at the time had awkward angles and were heavy, which made the task of ironing for seamstresses and laundresses cumbersome. So, just like all great inventors, Sarah saw a problem and created a solution. Her solution was a narrow, curved board that fit neatly into sleeves and blouses, also padded for even heat distribution, and collapsible for easy storage. Sarah Boon patented her ironing board in 1892, becoming one of the first black women ever to receive a patent. Her design, with its emphasis on functionality and ease of use, laid the foundation for the modern ironing boards we know today. Miss Boon's legacy goes beyond gleaming crisp tees. Her ingenuity brought ease to homes and also inspired future generations of black inventors to dream big and push boundaries. At number 12, Dr. Shirley Jackson, the portable fax machine. The means of communication in the 1970s often felt like a snail race. Imagine a world where you had to call an operator to connect a caller from New York with a caller from Los Angeles. During a time where if you wanted to send someone a message, it might take days. But Dr. Shirley Jackson, a brilliant physicist and visionary, dreamt of a faster, more efficient way to bridge the gap between sender and receiver. In 1973, she used her understanding of physics and telecommunications to develop a revolutionary invention, the portable fax machine. This wasn't a bulky desk contraption. It was a lightweight marvel capable of transmitting documents on the fly from anywhere to anywhere. The impact of the portable fax machine was seismic. Businesses could close deals in real time, journalists could share urgent news across continents, and architects could send blueprints seamlessly. Information once trapped in paper limbo gained wings. Dr. Jackson wasn't just a woman pushing boundaries in a male-dominated field. She was a pioneer of information transfer. She dared to shrink the world through telecommunication, pave the way for the interconnected, information-rich world we inhabit today. At number 11, Clarence Lee Mahoney, the toilet seat cover. The porcelain throne. It is said we spend about 73 hours a year sitting on the toilet. The reason we are able to comfortably pass the time on the toilet is attributed to the works of Clarence Lee Mahoney. Toilets have been around for centuries. The oldest toilets date back to 3500 BC. Throughout history, toilets were mostly ceramic, wooden, or metal tubes on which the user sat. That's until Mr. Mahoney decided to not take that sitting down. In 1926, he filed a patent for an attachable toilet seat cover. This invention was a thin, reusable material that would provide coverage against germs and provide some comfort. Today, potty users can thank Mr. Mahoney for a comfortable place to catch up on black ball videos. How many of the inventors have you known so far? Comment below. At number 10, Dr. Patricia Bath, cataract surgery. In the dim days before lasers, cataract surgery was a gamble. Blades and scalpels rested with cloudy lenses, hoping to restore sight but often leaving scars in their wake. Dr. Patricia Bath, a pioneering ophthalmologist with a vision as sharp as her scalpel, envisioned a more gentle and precise way to handle eye surgery. Dr. Bath delved into laser technology, envisioning a tool that could vaporize cataracts with focused light and a metal lighter than the traditional steel. With her invention, surgery times dwindled, recovery periods shortened, and the risk of complications plummeted. Patients who had been shrouded in a world of blurry shadows rediscovered the vibrant hues of life. Today, over 3 million cataracts are removed annually with the aid of laser technology. At number 9, Philip Downing, the street mailbox. Checking your mailbox seems like a given to most people. We can literally mail letters by walking to a blue box and dropping in our envelope. We can thank one man for that. Going to the post office is already a chore, but imagine if that was the only way to send and receive mail. Well, that was life right before the 20th century, before Mr. Philip Downing came up with a simpler and more secure way to deliver and post your mail. Mr. Downing worked as a postal clerk and knew firsthand the frustrations of unreliable communication. So in 1891, in an effort to protect mail from the elements, prevent theft, and enhance convenience, Philip Downing patented the street mailbox. His metal contraception revolutionized postal service and completely changed the way we communicate. Make sure you stick around to find out who is really the genius behind the Xbox and PlayStation. At number 8, Andrew Jackson Beard, automatic railroad car coupler. In the wild west of the railroad, coupling cars was a devil's dance. Brave souls facing iron giants, risking life and limb to join carriages with bare hands. Countless fingers were lost, limbs crushed, and lives snuffed out in the metallic symphony of industry. But in the late 1800s, down off on his farm in Alabama, a former slave named Andrew Jackson Beard figured out a way to bring together man and machine safely. Mr. Beard was like most inventors. He was solving a problem he too had. Andrew Jackson Beard was a former railroad worker, and he too was a victim of a coupler car, losing one of his legs in a crushing accident. He poured his mind into crafting a solution and invented a mechanical handshake. He called it a Jenny coupler, named after his daughter. It was a pair of jaws, one on each car, that automatically locked when pushed together, eliminating the need for human intervention. Countless limbs were spared, and Mr. Beard's legacy cemented. At number 7, John Montseliger, shoelasting machine. Way before sweatshops in foreign lands were crafting your favorite sneaker, shoes were handcrafted by skilled cobblers using leather and nails. Each shoe handcrafted for only one individual, making them tedious to craft and unaffordable to many. Must have been quite burdening for resellers back then.
Resale marketplaces like StockX and Goat.com are seeing a decline in sales despite the industry being worth over $6 billion globally.
By the late 19th century, every industry looked for ways to keep up with industrialization, including the shoe industry. Insert self-taught inventor John Montseliger, who figured out a way to get shoes on feet faster. Montseliger wasn't just a gifted craftsman, he was a problem solver. After years of tireless effort, his creation burst onto the scene, the shoe-lasting machine. This wasn't a hulking behemoth. It was a ballet of gears and levers, mimicking the movements of a skilled laster with mechanical precision. The impact of Matzeliger's invention was revolutionary. Product lines sprung to life, shoes became affordable for the masses, and the footwear industry boomed. Next up on our list made it possible for some of your favorite music to exist. Number 6. Robert F. Fleming, the modern guitar. What do B.B. King, Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, and Prince all have in common? They all owe their musical careers to one man, Robert F. Fleming. Robert F. Fleming was a war hero as a Union sailor in the Civil War. During battle, Fleming survived the sinking of his naval ship, the USS Housatonic, which was attacked by a Confederate manned submarine. It became the first ever ship to be sunk by a submarine in battle. Mr. Fleming retired from naval duties and began teaching and performing music in Cambridge, Massachusetts. During his time, his innovation started to strum a tune. His musical mind led him to innovate the guitar. Now you see, the guitar has been around for thousands of years, but Robert Fleming wanted an instrument that resonated more. Thus, the euphonica was born. The euphonica stood upright and produced a louder and deeper sound than the guitars of the time. So the next time you listen to Purple Rain, thank Robert F. Fleming. Share this video with the most creative person in your life to keep them inspired. At number 5, Henry T. Samson, the gamma electric cell. Time to delve into the fascinating world of gamma and electricity. Scientist and engineer Henry T. Samson played a transformative role in shaping our modern mobile phones through his groundbreaking creation, the gamma electric cell. Samson made significant contributions to various scientific fields. However, his most notable achievement came in the realm of telecommunications. In 1971, Samson received a patent for the gamma electric cell, a device that not only showcased his technical prowess, but would go on to influence the landscape of mobile communication. Samson's cell technology was instrumental in the creation of the first ever cell phones. Now go click on that subscribe button before we move on to our next inventor. Number 4. T. Carrington, the range oven. You can probably walk into your kitchen right now and boil water, preheat your oven, all while frying eggs. That would have been considered magic not too long ago. Stoves have been around since the Comets, and before the late 1800s, were not temperature controlled. Then, a Baltimore-born innovator named T. Carrington rewrote culinary history. Mr. Carrington dreamt of a stove that danced to the chef's rhythm, offering precision control and consistent temperatures. Thus, the double cooking range was born, a marvel of cast iron with separate ovens and compartments, allowing for simultaneous baking, simmering, and searing. The impact of Carrington's invention was transformative. Kitchens slowly did away with open ovens which operated on high heat and were fueled by fire. Mr. Carrington's range stove became the standard. T. Carrington changed the way restaurants and family diners operate and come together forever. Number 3. Granville T. Woods, telegraphony. Granville T. Woods, born in 1856, overcame the barriers of racial prejudice to emerge as a trailblazer in the world of invention. Recognized as the Black Edison, Woods' ingenuity and perseverance led to numerous patents and groundbreaking contributions to electrical engineering. Among his many inventions, one that stands out is telegraphony, a testament to Woods' vision for advancing communication technology. This revolutionary invention by Granville T. Woods seamlessly blended telegraph and telephone systems, creating a bridge between two distinct modes of communication. The significance of telegraphony extended beyond its technological brilliance. Woods' invention became a precursor to modern telecommunications, foreshadowing the convergence of voice and data transmission that defines our interconnected world today. The next person on our list made it possible for us to stay up all hours of the night trying to make it to the next level. Ranked at number 2, Jerry Lawson, the home video game console. Before PlayStations and Xboxes blossomed in every living room, video games existed strictly in arcades. But in the 1970s, a visionary wanted to bring the flashing lights and joysticks home. An engineer named Jerry Lawson dreamt of a console that could house a multitude of adventures, hours of fun readily accessible from your couch. That dream gave birth to the Fairchild Channel F. Now listen carefully. The Fairchild Channel F was not the first in-home video game system, but it was the first to have interchangeable cartridges, the forefather to systems like the Sega Genesis and Nintendo gaming systems. Mr. Lawson's innovation created the industry of game developers, birthing a vibrant library of cartridges, each a portal to a new adventure. Lawson's console wasn't just a toy, it was a social catalyst, sparking laughter, competition, and shared experiences. Though surpassed by sleek successors, the spirit of the Channel F lives on in every console humming in living rooms around the globe. At number 1, George Washington Carver. The peanut industry. George Washington Carver is one of the greatest minds this world has ever seen. His accomplishments in science, agriculture, and botany literally made him one of the most famous people of his time. But his most prolific work came through educating farmers on how to maximize the use of cotton, soybeans, sweet potatoes, and most famously, peanuts. Mr. Carver developed a mobile classroom called the Jessup Wagon. He brought his lessons to former enslaved farm workers and used showmanship to educate and entertain people about agriculture. One of his favorite topics were peanuts. Prior to Mr. Washington's studies, peanuts were regarded as an excellent food for pigs. But G.W. Carver saw peanuts as a tool for his creative expression. To him, they were like paintbrushes. Often, he is credited with discovering peanut butter, but that's not true. However, he did discover hundreds of uses for the groundnut. Mr. Washington discovered that peanuts could be used for shampoo, soaps, dyes, lotions, gasoline, and much more. His studies led to great financial gains and legislative changes in favor of America's farmers. George Washington Carver might not be responsible for your PB&J, but he's still a slice above the rest. Make sure you like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and stay tuned for more explorations of history, innovation, and the untold stories waiting to be shared.